Hi everyone and welcome. So today I want to show you exactly how the MB interviews feature works. This is built into the Mastering Backend platform so that you have a unified dashboard to do everything relating to backend engineering. The MB interview helps you practice real-world interview projects and algorithmic challenges. So I'm going to walk you through how exactly it works. Here we have two types of interviews that you can practice. We have the algorithm interviews and then we have the backend interviews. Now the backend interviews are just like those take-home projects that companies give you to go and work on and then submit to them later. Sometimes we do not even know what these companies are looking for and what they are going to score us with. So we just do a guest job and work on these projects. Implementing all the functionalities and making sure that we do our best in terms of making the code readable and writing unit tests. Now, this platform is going to explore and show you all of that, scoring you and giving you recommendations on the different things that you need to do in order to pass that interview. So I'm going to walk you through the first type of interview that we have, which is the project-based interview. So say for example, a company gives you an e-commerce platform to build the API for as you are a backend engineer. So you can come here and choose any of these projects, let's say the e-commerce API. Of course, you can see a lot of different things that you will be needing. You need to know Node.js, you need to know Express, you need to have MongoDB IDEA and two other things. So the time for this project takes just 4 hours and right now it is available. It is also telling you that this is a hard one, so you need to prepare for it. So you click on it. Alright, so once it loads, it gives you even more information. So it gives you a requirement of the things that you need to do in order to pass this interview. For example, you need to implement a RESTful API endpoint for products, carts, and others. And then you need to also include authentication and authorization. You need to also implement proper error handling and validation, and many other requirements that you need in order to pass this interview. Also here you see our grading criteria. So sometimes for these projects that you submit, you don't really know what your grading criteria are. You just do a guess job. But for this one, we kind of show you the grading criteria that is used to grade these projects so that you know how to actually code this project and place your code in a way that is appealing to the employer. So here we have API design. So we are going to look at that critically, and that actually has 25 points. Code quality, that also is on the high side because it holds 20 points. Testing, some of us do not write tests, but it is very important when you are building a project for a company as test. This is 15% points and it's on the high side too. And we have documentation, which is lower in terms of score, but also very important. We have performance of this project, assuming that you want to work in a company that values performance. And then security, which is 15 points, is also on the high side and is also very important. So now you have an idea of our grading structure so that you can build these projects to match this grading structure. So we click on start interview, and here you will be greeted with a code editor where you can start building your project. So here we are in the code editor. You can do well to write in any language that you know. Okay, so you can create files and do a whole lot, but at the end, make sure that you are actually fulfilling these tasks here. So you can write your code, you can follow this instruction, you can check that, you can run tests to make sure it passes all these criteria, and then you have your terminal in case you want to do npm install, and of course you see your scores here. So each time you run, we kind of give you a score, and if the score doesn't match what you want, and then you see like feedback of things that are missing, and then you can go back and fix them. Now, after you're done fixing everything, you click on submit. So once you click on submit, it's going to submit this project, and our AI-powered grader is going to grade you based on your work. So as you can see, for this example, you scored B, which is pretty on the high side. So your score here is 85%, and your test cases actually passed 83%, which is good. I mean, you actually passed 15 out of 18. Okay, so in terms of API quality, you also see your grading scores here and how we come about with this score. Okay, so we actually identify your strengths as you write your code, and also identify areas of improvement that you need to work on. Okay, and if you go further into detailed feedback, in terms of code quality, we have something for you. So we give you a well-structured feedback for code quality. We also give you a well-structured feedback for functionalities, performance, and even documentation. So that in the next one, or if you want to retry this interview again, you know exactly what to improve. So, for solutions, sometimes for each of these projects, we actually have like a solution for you so that you can take a look at it and compare it with your own results. But for sometimes we do not, depending on the project. Okay? So for comparison, so this is just comparing your results with our own result, right? And what is optimal. So your approach in terms of this project, this is what you get. And for our approach, this is what we get. So next time that you want to build on this project, or if you want to retry the interview again, you aim to have the optimal result for each of these interviews. Because as you can see here, your result, your solution is 2.5% slower than the optimal approach. In this case, your solution uses 1.8% more memory. So you always try to beat this optimal approach or solution, or you see your result here and then you know exactly what to improve. So this is how the project-based MB interviews work. Now I'm going to show you the other type of interviews, that is the algorithm interviews. It is exactly like lead code, but let me just walk you through it. So if you go back to interviews like this, you can see this type of interviews here called algorithms. So we have the two-sum algorithm interview. So you click on it, and then it gives you a summary of what you need to do, examples, and also different constraints. So next you click on start interview, and you are greeted with a code editor, just as what you see here. So in this case, you have the description of everything you need to do, and then you have a place to write your function. You can select as many languages as possible, and you have your test results right down here. So when you write your code here, you run your code, and then we test it with these test cases here. And if it passes, of course, we show you pass. But if not, we show you fail, and you need to tweak something else. So you can actually ask for help right here. This is hint. All right, but each time you ask for help, we are going to actually reduce your point. And if you do not have point or MB here, you won't be able to see this hint. Okay, you can also see solutions of other people who have taken this test, but of course you need to be a premium member to be able to see their solution. And also you can see how many times you have submitted this test, and the difference in runtime and the difference in memory, also the different languages that you have used to work on this test. So we are always timing you, so you have like a time to finish this up, since of course it is an interview. I don't want to waste all the time on it. Alright, so once you're done and you're confident that you've passed this test, so let me click on run, and of course it's going to show me fail because I didn't pass this test. But you continue tweaking your code and making sure that you pass this test. Okay, so once you do, I'm going to submit this, and again you also see a general result of the test that you've submitted. So here you see your strengths and your areas of improvement. You also see a good scoring criteria or grading criteria for what you did, and you see your final score and the number that you actually passed. Okay, so we also have the detailed feedback, solution, and every other thing that I've shown you before. So this platform actually help you pass different type of interviews that you might encounter in a real world scenario. Okay, whether it is project based or it is algorithm and data structure based, the MB interview platform have you covered. So what are you waiting for? Join masteringbackend.com and access the interview platform. See you there.